Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Guys, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase with Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15, like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more and see me shooting a flamethrower. And lastly, trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, General Motors renewing their trademarks for Pontiac, but the cars are not coming back. They are simply doing it for license plate, frames, swags, hubcaps, and knickknacks, but it is fun to keep the memory of Pontiac alive. So there are some people who speculate, oh yeah, maybe GM was going to bring back Pontiac, which unfortunately GM killed when they went bankrupt. I should clarify, when they went bankrupt for the multiple time, back in this time 2009 being the most recent bankruptcy. They have a long history of, failing. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Ronan Glone at thedrive.com. He says, quote, "Tell your uncle Pontiac is not coming back just because GM is renewing the trademark. The trademark filings can mean something to everyday gearheads, but sometimes it's just not one of those times." And again, the Pontiac brand has been dead for, again, over a decade, which sucks because to me it's one of the coolest brands. I mean, shoot, one of the top brands of the 60s, I'd say nearly bar none in terms of American muscle. I mean, who doesn't like the original Pontiac GTO? But even the most modern Pontiac production vehicles that they're showing in this article, they're all just Australian Holden vehicles that they rebadged, which, again, in terms of, economics, in terms of saving money, makes sense. It's a good business idea. They had some sales, not enough. But I mean, even the brands you see pictured aren't really engineered by like Pontiac. They were not made in Pontiac, Michigan. Now, the one picture is actually the Pontiac G8, which was a cool V8 sedan with a stick shift. It was a great vehicle, but again, just imported from Australians. And I don't even think they included a kangaroo in the trunk, which a little disappointing, be a cool little pet, but nevertheless. They say, quote, "General Motors just applied to renew its Pontiac trademarks, and our service is tempting for us, all of our car getters and gearheads, to think it might be coming back. But don't get your hopes up. Pontiac isn't likely to come back in the near future or even in the distant future. The trademark filing simply doesn't mean much. The application was filed actually a couple months ago, April 21st, 2025. It applies to, quote, hubcaps for vehicles, horns for vehicles, license plate frames, and novelty license plate frames. There's another way of saying the name and sum up various parts. The application hasn't been approved yet, but still waiting examination. But GM has owned the license since 2005, so it's most likely to be approved." And again, here's some cool pictures of the G8, though it is boringly disappointing that they have the automatic transmission shown in this picture. Which again, it did come with the option of stick shift, like all awesome cars should have by default, of course. And they say that, quote, "Car companies routinely file trademarks to ensure the brand name, model name, or even logo doesn't end up in the competitor's hands. Just ask Nissan, by renewing the Pontiac trademark, GM is essentially making sure that, say, Dodge doesn't end up with a name on a trim level. Would that happen? Probably not, but it's better to play safe than sorry. And owning the trademark, General Motors is making sure it can continue to sell sweet Pontiac branded memorabilia despite shuttering in 2010. Which, yeah, I'll show you the Pontiac GTO. Not the good one from the 60s. This is the 2005? But yeah, you can see again, this is just imported Holden from, again, Australia. I can't even say that country's name right. Just such a bizarre, crazy place. Australia. They're known for Foster's beer, criminals, and Holden cars. What else are they known for? Didgeridoo's. This concludes the lesson and everything you need to know about Australia. Also, evil totalitarian government that's, disarmed their populace, but another topic for another time, perhaps. Again, at least that cool car did have a fun little V8. It was a great, a lot of people love to make them into racing machines and tune the engines and do all the upgrades. It was a underappreciated, but, hindsight, pretty cool car. But again, to me, it didn't look distinct enough to have the newer GTO. If only people who really knew about it were the aficionados, kind of like the Chevy SS, also imported from, you guessed it, Australia, and also a Holden manufacturer, which again, GM owned that company way back in the day. Now they say that, quote, "Imagine if General Motors had let the trademark expire. Pontiac is dead after all, and it's not coming back. Why waste the legal team time and trademark application?" I mean, a bunch of salaried employees. This is their job. And again, they probably make, who knows, a couple $100,000 or a couple million on merchandise alone and knickknacks. Doesn't cost too much to have the person file this trademark application extension. And again, in the United States, if you don't defend it, again, you lose it and the competitors could easily swoop in and take it. They say, why waste legal team's time with a new trademark application? Granted, assuming that Dodge would launch a Charger Pontiac is a little far-fetched, but what if I spotted an expiration trademark and claimed it? If my application were approved, I could sue GM if they ever sold anything Pontiac branded. And then here's some people in the comments saying, or the article goes on to say, well, what about the Hummer EV? That brand was dead. They killed that company, and later they brought it back, but is now part of the GMC lineup of vehicles. But yeah, it's just, that was for one specific, I mean, Hummer, it was technically a car company, but at the end of the day, it was really one type of vehicle, one model of vehicle. Sure, they had like the hilariously useless, I think it was an H2 that had the option for convertible. But yeah, I mean, a lot of there's someone, Ron Gossick in the comments says that, I'm not sure where the writer lives, but here in Metro Detroit, there are allegedly people working on the Pontiac program at GM Tech Center in Warren, Michigan. There are 2 vehicles being developed, which there's been no substantial actual, no one's authenticated that information. It's a rumor going online. You can hear the rumor every couple of years. I understand. I mean, I wish Pontiac would come back as a pure performance brand. But again, I mean, GM, I just don't see them doing that. We got Chevy for the budget cars. You got Buick for, I don't know why they sell Buick, but you got GMC for the contractors who like that. You got Cadillac for the older folks, as well as people who love, you know, I'd say pretty good performance. They got the stick shifts and the V8s with the Cadillac brand. It'd be cool, especially because they killed the Camaro, so GM, you know, that Chevy product is gone. But again, I don't think Pontiac is ever coming back. I wish it would. I definitely miss it, but let me in the comments. Do you think GM will ever bring it back? Or do you think it would ever be financially viable? And growing up, did you ever have experience with Pontiac? I mean, even though it was an entry-level vehicle, I still love the Pontiac G6. I think it was a GXP edition. But they had a fun little coupe with the stick shift. When I was a kid, that thought it'd be a cool first car. Unfortunately, I didn't get that privilege. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so you can click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.